Welcome back to another edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Malik, and we got some great news for the Grizzlies. Bad news for a Grizzlies player. If you didn't know, now you know. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a part of the All Defense second team. We found that out earlier this week. So this is the third time he's made it. First time making second team, but still pretty good award for him. Definitely had the possibility of making first team, but that second half of the season definitely brought it down for him. And I mean, you got guys in his position like Evan Mobley who have done a pretty good job, defending, just overall being better. So I will give credit to that. But shout out to Jaren for that. Now we also did find out that the All NBA teams came out, and Jaren Jackson Jr. fell short of making any of the teams. I've been vocal about it multiple times. It was expected, in my opinion, for him to not make it. He fell, I believe, 10 votes short behind Shingun. Only person in front of him was Shingun, who fell, I believe, 2 votes short. So, yeah. So what that means for the Grizzlies is Jaren Jackson Jr. is not eligible for the Supermax, which would have essentially put the Grizzlies in a financial deficit, especially when it comes to getting depth on the roster. But with this move now, they actually could get some really good depth on the team and still pay Jaren Jackson Jr. the money that he deserves. So, very good news for the Grizzlies. Fortunate news for Jaren. He won't be making $300 million, but still a very good deal. Still a very good deal for the Grizzlies. So shout out Jaren. And if you want to know his stats, he posted. I have it right here. Jaren Jackson Jr. on the season in 74 games, he posted 1.5 blocks, 1.2 steals, and 5.6 rebounds. So shout out to Jaren on a very solid season, very bounce back season. As far as that, like I said, I mean he did pretty good. Just it was really the second half of the season that kind of hurt him. But I mean we all saw it. Jaren played at an All NBA level at one point. So kudos to him. And can't wait to see what the Grizzlies do. Now, staying on the subject with Jaren, um, for him to get to that All NBA level, Jaren has to improve on a lot. Now, I feel like even with a pretty disappointing second half of the season for Jaren, especially after the All Star break, I think you have to look into a lot of things that he needs to improve on. One of them being obviously rebounds. One thing that I love to see Jaren work on this all season, chemistry wise, or possibly just in general, I would love to see Jaren possibly work with Zach Edey to figure out a game plan because just if we're being honest, I feel like Jaren is at a point you have Zach Edey. You don't have to necessarily go after every single bucket in the paint. I love the effort. I really do love the effort. We don't see that much. We don't see that kind of effort from anybody. So I really love seeing that from Jaren. But at the same time, we have to be honest with ourselves. There's been a lot of moments where Jaren went up for a block, and because of that, he missed the easy rebound, and that allowed second chance points, which we found out hurt the Grizzlies all throughout the season. So that's something that I hope to see different. Now, like I said, with Zach Edey in there, I would love to see Jaren understand that now that you have a paint presence in the block, you can box out for rebounds and potentially get up to that. Because we saw moments where Jaren, he rebounded when he needed to. I'll give credit to Jaren for that. It was moments where he went for 10 plus rebounds, 15 rebounds, and unfortunately, it didn't necessarily help the Grizzlies, but it definitely gave me some signs of hope. Now, granted, and it's funny because it's coming from me, and a lot of people will say, "Well, you should expect that from your big man." I mean, I've been following Jaren since college. He's never been a rebounder, so this whole ideology that Jaren didn't know how to rebound, yeah, we all kind of knew that. It's just some people didn't know. Some people didn't really watch him at Michigan State. He averaged around the same numbers at Michigan State, about 5 rebounds. So I mean, it's just not. I don't think it's something that people really took into account when the Grizzlies drafted him. I mean, obviously, 7 footer, you think he can rebound, but I think it's just something to work on, and I think he'll get to that point. So I think if he works on rebounds, not going after every shot, that'll be good. Another thing for Jaren, working in the low post. We saw Jaren utilize the low post, especially in the first half of the season. he dominated, and that's how he got to the All-Star. That's how he got the All-Star nod, his second one of his career. But something that we saw exploited in the playoffs was when he played Alex Caruso and the Thunder. He simply just could not figure out a way to get out of the double team or pass out of the double team clean, forcing multiple turnovers, which all in all hurt the Grizzlies a lot. So I think if Jaren really works on that, works how to get out the double team quicker, or learn some more post moves, I would be a fan of it. I mean, only one can only dream, but him working with a guy like Akeem Olajuwon, or us simply bringing in a vet that knows how to work in the low post, I feel like that would be good too. So I mean, I'm very willing to see how Jaren improves in the offseason, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Obviously, I hope he takes the jump that he needs to take, especially now that he's really entering in his prime. So hopefully we can see that, and possibly come a year from now, we'll see Jaren Jackson Jr. make an All NBA team, because he's definitely on the pace for making one. It's just some minor tweaks that he really has to make. Now, another thing I want to jump up into when it comes to the Grizzlies and the all season, a main priority for me that I think that needs to be focused on, we need to emphasize conditioning. I don't know if it means the training staff has to be better or the players have to condition better, but conditioning should be priority number one. This is back-to-back years, or really, in my opinion, 3 years in a row where we've had to deal with multiple injuries for the Grizzlies in prime years, in the prime time in the season. I mean, you look at Ja, you look at guys, you look at other guys. I mean, conditioning is a problem that needs to be fixed. The Grizzlies are one of the worst conditioned teams, and it's very evident how many games their trio is playing. I mean, I got to be honest, and as crazy as it sounds, the stats don't lie. This Grizzlies team, this Grizzlies trio of Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Desmond Bane, they're along the pace for, in the last couple of years. If you remember the Brooklyn Nets trio, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden, they didn't play much, but when they did, they were deadly. And I feel like that's kind of and this is just my personal opinion. Hindsight, this is how I'm looking at the Grizzlies. I'm seeing a trio that is good, but they just don't play enough, and they don't play enough when it matters the most. So I really do think that's that. Um, another thing that I think helps. Really, the Grizzlies deal with a lot of lower leg injuries. That's something I'm noticing. I don't know if that has to do with the shoes that they're wearing or just how they're moving on the floor. But I definitely think that's something that needs to be looked into, because if they don't, it's really going to hurt them in hindsight, and it's really going to bring up a lot of questions right now. I mean, I'm seeing people on Twitter not understanding that, and that's why you have conversations of people talking about Jaren Jackson. I've seen people celebrating Jaren Jackson not making All NBA team. I just want to point out, and I'm looking at the camera when I say this: if you are a Grizzlies fan celebrating Jaren Jackson not making an All NBA team despite the financial gain for the Grizzlies, you might have a problem. I'm just sorry to say it. You should be uplifting the players, not not bringing them down. I mean, that's just simply how it goes. Regardless, we want the best for our players, and I feel like if you're celebrating that, you're just looking at it from the wrong picture. You can be happy. You can be happy about two things at once. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not any of our jobs to worry about what. It's not any of our jobs to have sleepless nights on what the Grizzlies should do. That's a front office job, and that's a player's job. Simple as that. So I think I just something. This is a quick little rant that I saw, and I really think it's very weird. Weird activity from some Grizzlies fans. I'm not speaking for all of them, but some of them that I saw, just very weird. It really goes to show that a lot of these people don't appreciate the players enough until they're gone. So hopefully that changes, because I mean, I really feel like if it comes down to it, if the Grizzlies were to not have Jaren Jackson Jr., they would not be the team that they are now, and I mean that in a bad way. Like the team would be significantly worse. That is why the players ride for him, and that's why the players talk him up. Simple as that. So conditioning should be a main factor for the Grizzlies. Hopefully we see that, and I would love to see a season where guys like John Morant can play at least 65 games or more, and that way he can even get an All NBA nod. So hopefully we see something like that. Yeah, just really just hoping for that. Now, in other news that I kind of want to get into, we've talked about potential deals with teams. there was a report that came out recently saying that the Charlotte Hornets essentially they're I'm not gonna say they're clearing house, but essentially they are opening opening up their roster to anyone. I believe the only untouchable is Brandon Miller. So that leaves up their entire team to be traded. Now, obviously, Maine got LaMelo Ball. I got to be honest, I don't think LaMelo Ball would fit on the Grizzlies, and I feel like you would be. It just doesn't fit. I think LaMelo Ball and John Moran, you got two ball dominant guys. Now, granted, LaMelo is a great playmaker, but LaMelo needs the ball in his hands. It's just that simple. John needs the ball in his hands. It just wouldn't work. Simple as that. Now, if I'm being honest, and I have multiple opinions on this, I truly do. If I were the Grizzlies, I gotta be honest, I'm skeptical on Miles Bridges, but I can see how that worked. I truly would see how that worked. Now, when it comes to who the Grizzlies should go after, I would love to see the Grizzlies go after a guy. It's two guys that I think the Grizzlies should go after. It's Grant Williams and Mark Williams. Now we've seen the price that Mark Williams is worth. I mean, the Lakers almost traded Dalton Connect for him, but they rescinded the trade. The Grizzlies have a lot of players similar to Dalton Connect. I think you could trade that for a Mark Williams type player. Maybe throw in a pick. It doesn't have to be a high pick. I think a second round pick at most is still good. Yeah, I think because we've seen Mark Williams play. I mean, one time he played the Grizzlies and he dropped like 38. Mark Williams is a very good guy. I think if he comes off the bench or maybe even starts ahead of Edie, I feel like he would be very good to fit on the team. He's a live threat. He has a pretty decent shot, and he's mobile. That's a lot. That's a very big thing when it comes to the big man position that the Grizzlies need to target the mobile big men, players that can move off the pick and roll, players that can pick up high. So that'll be something that I think the Grizzlies should definitely target. And obviously for Grant Williams, I think Grant Williams would be perfect for the Grizzlies. He has that agitating attitude that the Grizzlies need in their culture, in their locker room. He's a guy that's been to the NBA Finals before. He's played for the Boston Celtics. He knows what it takes, and he's a pretty good 3-and-D player. You don't have to ask much from him offensively, but you can definitely get a good game out of him defensively. High effort, high energy. He's going to get under someone's skin, which the Grizzlies need. They need an enforcer, and I feel like Grant Williams is an enforcer, and I feel like it would be no point in watching him waste away years of his career in Charlotte. So I think if the Grizzlies make a move for a guy like Grant Williams, perfect. I would not hate the move at all. I think, honestly, if I'm being real, I don't know exactly who you would give up, but I think the asking price wouldn't be much. Grant Williams is getting older, but the older the experience, and it's not like he's regressing at this point. You're not asking much from him, and plus he can help other guys like Jalen Wells and others, especially like maybe if you do end up keeping Santi Aldama, just help move better on defense, especially at their wing position. So I think Grant Williams would be an ideal fit for the Grizzlies. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I'd be a fan of it. I just got to be honest. I would absolutely be a fan of it. And obviously, like I said, with Miles Bridges, I mean, I doubt it. I got to be honest. I doubt it. But if it happens, it happens. But if I were the Grizzlies, I would be reaching out to the Hornets. They're not asking for much. I say make it happen. See if you can get a deal done. See if they're not asking for too much, and beef up this roster. I mean, the Hornets have potential, and I think if for them to kind of be steering away from that, this is something that needs to be taken advantage of. If you have a team that is selling their entire roster, you should be reaching out no matter what. I feel like that because there are hidden gems on NBA rosters despite the records and despite what they're asking these players to do. Because a lot of these players are very good. So if you get those kind of players, you could elevate the team a much better. And with the guys that I just named, I feel like you could definitely elevate the team. And that's just simply how I feel. Um, Obviously, no news on whether or not the Grizzlies have reached out to the Hornets or not. I mean, this is just a report, not necessarily a confirmation kind of thing. So this is just something that I'm following. Just bringing up more ideas so that way, if reports do come out, you all aren't, blindsided by it. So that's gonna wrap up this edition of Grizzlies Daily. Like I said, once again, congratulations to Jaren Jackson Jr. and of course Jalen Wilson, Zach Edey, all of them making All NBA teams. Well, versions of All NBA teams, not the actual All NBA teams, if you know what I mean. So congratulations to them. 3 Grizzlies walking away with postseason honors. Always a pretty good sign for the year, even though it ended in a bittersweet way. So congratulations to them. Like I said, I'm gonna be following all of these. Gonna be bringing up new ideas to you guys daily. So definitely reach out if you see anything, and make sure to type in the comments anything that you want to talk about. I'll definitely try my best to make sure to respond. Make sure you subscribe to the Grizzlies Daily, turn on those post notifications. We try to post every other day, and I'm gonna bring you the next few ideas or news to you guys, so make sure to tune in, and y'all stay blessed.